Hey, it's me, the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Hey, check out my new tag team, baby, Monty and the Pharaoh.
Hey, Jimmy, don't forget to tell them about Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast.
Well, you know what, I would, but you already did it.
It's Monty and the Pharaoh.
The Monty and Pharaoh Show.
Monty and Pharaoh, bro.
Monty and the Pharaoh. The Monty and the Pharaoh.
You've got the future Hall of Famers at Rucker, Marty Jannetty, and MJ in the house, and I'm sitting here with two more future Hall of Famers, Monty and the Pharaoh. We're doing that stuff and we gonna rock it.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
It's Monty and the Pharaoh.
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 And Monty and the Pharaoh. Oh, is it Monty and the Pharaoh?
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Monty and the Pharaoh.
Hey, cut music. When you want the best in professional wrestling, Long Island, there's only one place you're gonna get it, right here.
Monty and the Pharaoh. Now, that's not just the coolest, and that's not just the best. That, my friends, is just incredible.
Monty and the Pharaoh. Duh.
Hey! Nikita Koloff, the Russian Nightmare! And you're watching the #1 show on Long Island with Monty and the Pharaoh.
I'm mad because that should never happen. If you got something against somebody, just talk over. If you cannot talk and you want to fight, just fight.
Welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh, seen only here out of Indie Music TV in Long Island, New York. We want to welcome our honor, Mr. Savio Vega. Thank you, sir, for coming to studio. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me here.
Recently, we had the joy of getting to see you again on WWE television during the Survivor Series retirement of The Undertaker. Can you share your thoughts about The Undertaker? His career, what he means?
Well, you know what? I saw the story of Undertaker or Mark before he come to be the big character that he is. I met it back in '94. You know, when Yokozuna arrived there, and Bam Bam Bigelow. It was Bam Bam Bigelow, Bader, Rikishi, Yokozuna, and me, and Sam, and one of the Samoans. We were in Japan for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And that's when already I hear the Yokozuna, they signed Yokozuna to go to WWF by that time. After that, when Bam Bam Bigelow, Rikishi, then me. You know, I went there because I told one of the guys, was Bam Bam. I say, tell Scott Hall, when you see it, tell him I say hello, Razor Ramon. And back, when Bam Bam come back for his last tour, he said, here's his number, call him this day, he gonna be at home. And I call him. That's when he said, I talked to the old man, so to bring you in. And I did my tryouts and, whatever. That's when I met The Undertaker. And we connect right away with the crew of Yokozuna, Fatu, Mr. Fuji, Paul Bearer, Crush, we all together, and that's when we start calling BSK. And we got the Garwins there too. I mean, we have fun. When they call me to be at the Survivor Series, it's possible you come down. They're gonna do the farewell for Undertaker. You interested in coming? So, yes, for him, man. He said, well, they're gonna probably call the rest of the crew. They don't know yet. I said, all right. So they know they're gonna call, but they don't want to tell us. So finally, we find out that we gonna be together. Man, happy. I didn't even see the Garwins in 20 years. I saw Yokozuna. Rikishi. Because we booked him in Chile, and we went to Chile and stuff like that. But even Papa Chango and Taker, and even Taker, I saw him in Puerto Rico. He come down to wrestle, and I found out that he's gonna be there. I contact him. He wait for me there, and we talk for almost an hour. Then he went to the ring. But man, what a guy! He's a professional. He's a gentleman. He was the leader of the dressing room. Of course, he don't know where he's going with his character, like we don't know till things happen day by day. He stay focused on the company. They give him the big super huge opportunity, and he took it. And look, the best entrance ever. I have the chance to wrestle him and to be in that ring. I mean, before wrestle him, I was doing the Kwang, and of course I see the entrance and nice and this and that, and but then be in the ring when the entrance coming in, it's another world. It's another. I got goosebumps. It's total different. I have the chance to wrestle him as a Kwang and Savio Vega. And the first time I just went there to wrestle him, I have to put him over, of course, and let's do this and let's do that. But that teach me how to wrestle The Undertaker. So the second time I wrestle him as a Nation of Domination, Savio Vega, I was more aggressive to the character, because in the beginning I was in the Quan was okay, let's do this and take care of the man, whatever. But in the second one, I said no, I want to make you work.
Right.
And we have a good 2 matches, but working with him and being attacked with Yokozuna and coming to these buildings and just the heels in the ring waiting for the Undertaker come, and soon you see those lights turned off and that gun boom, and right away you hear the people. Me as a producer, I was in the ring looking at the people, see the reaction of the people, knowing that it was going to happen later, but I just hear the boom light, and people would erupt. They just go crazy. And I love to look at the people because that make me happy, and that's a good day enjoying this. Here the man come do his routine, and it's totally different from the seats to be in the ring. Oh my God, and be happy because it's a friend of yours that you're gonna work with him, and everything's gonna be good. And that's what we did. We entertained ourselves to entertain the people.
I have to ask you while I have you here, because I'm not so sure a lot of people know this, but I came across Stone Cold Steve Austin talking about when he first got to the WWE, he was getting over an injury of sorts, and he had just come fresh from ECW. He raved about his early matches in WWF at the time with you, and that how you actually helped bring him out of his injury and into the stamina that he needed to get back for pro wrestling in general. How does it feel to have had such an important part, even though to me it's quietly, people don't even realize it, but Stone Cold loves you from what I heard him saying.
I love the man too. I didn't even know that he was injured.
Yeah. He was mentioning that you helped bring him back with the matches you had with him upon his early arrival in the WWF, when, brought back his stamina.
I still remember that day. It's like that was like a movie. It's in life. In life, it's some situations that you're gonna remember that not because what happened in the moment. It's like the recording start earlier, and you remember. When you wake up, what you did, then the situation happened, and you remember all that. And this day, we are in San Antonio, Texas. I'm in a cafeteria area. It's already closed, and I was lacing my boots. I saw in the papers, Savio Vega against Steve Austin, tryout. So that's gonna be one of the first matches, you know. So I'm putting my boots, and here come Pat Patterson. Rest in peace, man.
Yeah.
He said, Savio. He always talked loud. Savio, here's Steve. You gonna work with him? Let me know. He's gonna do his tryout tonight. I said, okay, no problem. Let me know later. I said, yes.
His tryout, Steve
Tryout.
Austin.
Tryout
I got you.
to come in the company.
Wow.
So I said, all right. So I sit down with Steve, and I said, brother, I don't know you because I don't know him.
Right.
And you don't know me. Maybe he know, but he never said. But I say, my finish is a spinning kick. Let's call it in the ring. He said, okay, just like that. And we went to the ring, and we did what we did. And I come out of that ring, man, happy. I said, what a match. Here come Pat. Savio, tell me. I said, well, you see it? He said, yes. I said, you tell me. He said, wonderful. I said, it was great. He said, put something together. Tomorrow you have the second one. All right. And next day we have a better match. Then from that point on, they hired him right away, and they put him with me.
Right.
And I believe we win. We run United States like 2 times, 3 times. Europe, working together. And I remember he said one time, Savio put me in shape, because I was already have like 2 years in the company. I was doing the Quan. Then I turned to the Savio Vega. And when he arrived, you know, I was already running that 20 by 20 like going to the bathroom, you know.
Yeah.
I got the stamina big time. So I didn't even realize in his stamina. I mean, you follow me, let's go. So he said, my lungs hurt. You know, you chopped the hell out of me. And we work hard. We work hard. We never have a no for each other. When we start knowing each other, you know. Every night we add or take something from the match to make it something different. Let's try this, let's try that. One day he say, man, I have in mind, do this finishing move. And
Really?
The stoner.
Oh, wow.
And I say, and I want to try it tonight. You don't mind? You know, I said, let's do it. Why not, man? So the first stoner was on me, you know.
You didn't bounce as far as Scott Hall did at that WrestleMania, did you?
No,
Okay,
because
good.
what's the first one? We don't know how is we gonna do it.
Right.
But then later, when we got the timing, oh, you see me flying like
Then you're just bouncing like everybody else.
Yeah, I saw one that Rock did, and he would start jumping like a bumblebee.
Well, no one beats Vince McMahon's when he got hit by the stunner.
He just falls, goes sideways. It was, he didn't bounce at all.
So, I mean, and knowing that he's gonna come what he become, you know, and me be part of the leader training, because
Oh yeah.
why I realize this when you know, when you do something like I do wrestling, I like to know about everything about wrestling from long time ago to now.
Sure.
If it's possible, educate myself.
Sure.
In wrestling. So what I did a little research. I said, why him and me? We have such a good matches, you know, and we just 2 wrestlers. No, it's because he was working in Louisiana. He worked Louisiana. He worked Texas. He worked, I believe, Tennessee. I don't know, all that area. He never come to Puerto Rico. I never worked in Texas or Tennessee. Yes, in Louisiana. But was just one book. I call it one book of wrestling. Basic wrestling. So he have that, and I have that because in Puerto Rico I work with all these old timers. You know, but by that time I was a kid. Wrestled Afan Sika, Iron Sheik, Abdullah the Butcher.
Cologne.
The Colognes.
Right.
You know, you working with all these guys. So they use the same math, the same book. So when Steve and me work, we are working in that book.
You're in that book.
Play by ear.
You tell us about the night of Bruiser Brody being murdered, please.
I could tell you a sad day, of course, still till now that we're talking. Still a sad day. Still missing Frank. I call him Frank because, then later I met him and talked to him as a Frank, no Bruce or Brody. He ride in my car many times to take it to the towns. Last time, I could say this. Last time I was with him in my car. I live about 40 minutes from San Juan. The company office was right there in San Juan, so by the hotel is 10 minutes easy. So they called me to pick Frank, so I have to go 40 minutes there to take it to go to Ponce area, which is in the south area of the island. And I said yes. I never I like to pick up the guys. I travel alone. So I pick him, pick Abdullah, but this day I pick Frank, and we went to Ponce. My English wasn't that great, but I understand and talk or whatever. Now, in the way back, we are talking, and he said to me, listen, you are a good talent. Don't stay in the island. You could go on the States and make it big and make more money. I'm like, okay, So I was thinking in my head, translate all that what he say in English in my Spanish, and I say, well, this is the guy that are gonna help me. I'm gonna ask him later to help me, to book me because he know everybody. I don't know nobody.
Right. Sure.
So, boom, the Gaga happened. And not because that I went like, no, because first was him. When he arrived in Puerto Rico the first time, I was working as a security guard for the company. Mm-hmm. So when he arrived there, he come with the gimmick, us, yelling and moving here. Everywhere he moved, I was next to him. And knowing that day was nobody in the building, was a TV taping, was a low house, I was next to him, taking care of him. And once they are in the dressing room, they safe, that's it. But I remember Frank, big time. I cried that man. I remember one time coming from the same town back home, and that's going to be in a movie. Driving back home. In this area now, they put another bridge here. They put another roads, whatever. But by that time, it was just you coming from Highway 52, you turn to 22. So I start crying. I was listening to music, and I start crying and cry. I can't even see. I can't see. I was crying big time, and I turned to 22 without looking, and I from the inside lane I went across the 3 lanes to the shoulder on the right side to stop because I can see. But I never turned to see it either. I remember I went just in and turned, and I stopped there and cried out. I mean, till I was relaxed, that's when I continue home. But sad, man.
Is there any anger at Carlos Colon on your end over this thing at all? I know you can't get too in depth, but is there anger from you at Carlos Colon for what went on?
Well, Carlos, it's not anger against Carlos. If Carlos have an anger against me, that's his problem, not mine. But the day they there that day, if they know what's gonna happen, it's a 50-50 chance. I'm mad because that should never happen. If you got something against somebody, just talk over. If you cannot talk and you want to fight, just fight. Like 2 bulls, whatever. But the way that happened damaged the company, damaged wrestling in Puerto Rico, damaged the name of Puerto Rico.
For sure.
Damaged everybody.
For sure.
So I got mad too because when trial come out and the gaga they did there, done, many people was start talking about the wrestler never come of that, which is true. Nobody talking behind Frank. I got mad because I talk and I say what I see. I cannot put words because it's a serious case, and I don't want to get myself caught in a lie.
Were you fearful for your own safety during this time period? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Never crossed my head neither.
Mm-hmm.
Because was an accident there. Well, not an accident.
Right.
But,
Right.
Sorry.
Right. No, fair enough. You can curse. Say what you want.
I never feel threatened, In that.
You did feel the urgency to get Tony off the island to help him get out of there, though.
No, what happened with Tony in that point is he wanted to talk to the police.
Okay.
But the police don't speak English.
Okay.
So when that happened, Invader 2, Soto, he speak good Spanish and English, and he was translated to the cop. The cops are inside the dressing room, and Tony was talking to them. This happened, blah blah blah, blah. And in one point, feel the tension in the dressing room because he was talking to the cops. Why not? I mean, a stab. No, he don't die there. A lot of people think that Brody died there.
Right.
No, they took him to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
They proceeded an operation.
Right.
And he passed through the night.
Correct.
And I was when I went to the building next day, because the show continued that night, because a lot of speculation. People start saying things that don't happen there. When I arrived in the building next day, which is Maya West, to the west side of the island, and I arrived there, I just threw my bag in the dressing room. I went to the front to ask Isaac Rosario. He just passed away 2 months ago. And when I just went to him and say, what, do you know anything about Brody? He said he passed away. I just I was like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I just went sad, man, and I was across the building all the way to the dressing room, and I sit down right there. I was alone in that moment, nobody there, and here come Carlos arrived, Jose Invader, and Jose Colon, Carlos' brother, and Jovica. They just arrived, and I said to Carlos, "Hey, do you hear the Brody passed away?" He said, "Yeah, I hear that." And I'm like, and Invader was there like nothing happened.
How did Carlos seem about it?
He was kind of a worry.
Okay.
He was kind of a worry because...
You sense any grief from him? Emotionally, as you're looking at the man's face?
He was always the same. But,
really? Okay.
But what you see there is when something happened, when you're ready to do something, well, do it. The consequences is gonna, you're gonna pay the price of the consequences either way. Some way you're gonna pay it, and that's when the conscience start eating you alive.
Yeah.
And it's no jail, no whatever. Your consequences is gonna kill you, because
your prison is your own conscience.
That's gonna be a hammer in your head.
Interesting.
Boom, boom, boom.
What was the fallout towards WWC from American wrestlers after Brody's murder?
That night, the second day, none of the guys arrived. Some of the guys left. Puerto Rico.
There you go.
Everybody pissed because when that happened, somebody went to the Hills dressing room and tell them that. Remember, I told you separate dressing room all the time. So somebody went to the Hill dressing room and explained them this happened. So I guess whatever they say, somebody, I don't know who, say whatever there. Everybody's like, but what happened? I mean, he's still alive, of course. So, okay, a fight between two guys, a knife was involved, and all right, he's alive. So the show went on. When he passed next day, that's when everybody said,
That's it.
go with this, and everybody left. You know, by that time was no cell phones, no beepers, no nothing.
Yeah.
Of course.
Just so I went to the building. When I arrived there, I realized they canceled the show. Of course, nobody come.
Yeah.
Cancel the show. I mean, that was to have a full house that day because outside was packed. People, you know, arriving. But that damaged the company. That damaged wrestling till this day.
People are still talking about it.
Every
still,
day.
And the fans are
Every
still grieved
day.
over the loss
Every
of
day.
Bruiser Brody.
I have a picture of Brody in my home. Even I call one of my dogs. I call it Brody. You know, Log Frank. You know, they tried to put him in the trial like he wasn't as a character. You know, that he was like that crazy and this and how the hell he's gonna be like that? He was studied as a lawyer, so you're gonna be in court as a lawyer. Hush, hush, look at me, hush.
Right,
you know,
right.
it's like it's not common sense.
Who, in your opinion, is the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling? I got to pick 4 people that best represent to you the history of this business. Who are the 4 faces, if you can?
Oh, I put there, of course, Harley Race.
Harley Race.
I put Flair there.
Flair.
That's 2 of my favorite. I put Brody.
Brody.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And
got one more.
Savio Vega.
Savio Vega.
That's it, baby.
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about.
There we go.